Um,
Are you Jewish?
Boudin.
Oh,
Achat
of course.
Shayim Shalosh. Oh, shalom, my friends. Shalom, my enemies. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And I am thrilled and delighted to be talking to two lovely, delightful people. The person on the right, or they may be on your left, I'm not sure how these internet things work, but the lady type person, this, of course, you have seen for years and years. She is best known for the TV program Mary Hartman. Her name is Louise Lasser. You've also seen in movies like Slither and some of the early Woody Allen films. And I will tell you how you can get to see her do a play that's done for television just right in the week ahead. So don't go away. But I should also mention her boy toy, her significant other, a man named, now I won't get this right, Michael CITRINITI. Did I get it?
CITRINITI.
CITRINITI. I always say it rhymes with nitty gritty or itty bitty.
Nitty gritty, itty bitty, titty committee. Okay, so welcome, Michael. No, hold on, I need to read it. Michael CITRINITI, like Trinity Church. Yes.
I'll take it. That's good.
It's good. So, how did you two back in 2004? Right, you met. How did you meet?
We met at the Actors Studio.
Going a little more in depth. Susan Charlotte, who runs Food for Thought Productions. Susan came into the office one day. I was working at Food for Thought. I was helping produce. I was helping casting, acting, and all that stuff. And she came in and she said one day, "My God, Louise Lasser has just joined the Actors Studio." I said, "Oh, wonderful! That's great." And I'd always wanted to meet Louise. I'd had a crush on her for 100 years. And it was June 18th of 2004 was going to be like a final picnic party day. And Susan said, "You got to come with me. Also, I lost Louise's number. So please come with me and we can get Louise's number." And I said, "Great." So I go over there and Louise is in front of the Actors Studio having a Snapple, a Diet Peach in one hand and a Tequila Sunrise in the other. And I said, "Oh, you must have met my boss, Susan Charlotte. Would you like another drink?" She goes, "Oh, no, I'm so drunk." She said, "Could you get me another peach Snapple, Diet Peach Snapple?" I said, "It'll be my pleasure." And I went and got her a drink, and one thing leads to another, and here we are.
Oh, mit Mazel, and you're living together, obviously, in sin, but I won't make a comment about this.
In sin, outside of sin, with sin, we take it all in sin. It's great.
But with the name CITRINITI, are you Italian? You don't seem like a Yiddle. You are?
Italian, Yiddle, it's all the same.
So, does that ever come into play, Louise, you being Jewish and or half Jewish, I should, and Michael, you being, I mean, Italians and Jews have a lot in common. What do you have in common? What don't you have in common?
We like to laugh. We like to eat.
Okay. Yeah. And well, eating, definitely the eating. Any further thoughts on that?
How about you?
I have none.
Well, let me ask you. You were teaching at HB. Did you have your own actors studio or actor teaching thing at one point?
Contractor. I taught at HB.
She taught at HB, and then she teaches privately now.
Oh, mit Mazel. This is so. Can I ask you, Louise, when you're coaching someone, what is the most important thing you are trying to get them to know or do?
Well, I want them to, of course, be real and just be talking to each other and trust that what they have to say is important and not push it, just say it. Contact to each other.
And is it hard for a lot of students? Because everybody's so into machines now and they're virtual. And is it hard to get people to connect harder now than it was 30 years ago?
I don't know. 30 years ago. I don't know. I was working 30 years ago. It's an American form of acting, which is the ability to be real under imaginary circumstances. Right?
Yeah. Yes. Kind of like what I'm doing right this second. Yes, all right.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Well, can I ask, do you have a favorite play? Are you a Chekhovy person? Are you a Miller person? A Williams? What are you?
I'm all those. And I do comedy, of course,
Of course.
but I think they're all the same.
Is there a difference? I mean, in other words, you have to play comedy real, but is there, if you're coaching someone doing a comedy versus a drama, how do you tell them to gauge how to play it?
It never comes up. If they play it in their instinct, is to play it funny. It's a question of, is it still real?
Okay.
If you feel it, maybe the audience will feel it.
Can I ask, Louise, what do you think is the greatest performance that you ever get? Maybe it's Mary Hartman. Maybe it's something that's an IMDb credit that people don't even know much about.
That I've ever seen?
That you've done, that your greatest.
I don't know. I like the play with.
I'm sorry, I missed that. That didn't come through.
Did you know my husband? She really enjoyed that
Oh,
one.
well, yes.
That work. It was different for me, and I thought it was great. And it's an older woman. You know, it's always when it's closer to yourself, and if it isn't closer to you,
Right.
and you and the character are one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
Also, going through the circumstances that the character goes through in the play, not to reveal really anything at the ending, but as far as what the character goes through, and Louise, I guess being a little nervous initially, like, how do I get from A to B through C to D on this without giving away the ending. The realization of what is the process? How does one reveal this without giving away that? What is the step-by-step?
Well, that's also important because I lost your voice there for a minute.
Sorry.
But the character can't know what the playwright knows. The character doesn't know he's going to die at the end of the scene. He can't go in all morose like, "Oh, I'm going to die in 5 minutes." He's going to just
what makes you think it's going to be morose?
Or joyful. If I were going to die in 5 minutes, I would not be joyful. I'd be eating a pastrami sandwich right now.
If you took a chance to really do it, you don't know what you'd be until you were there.
That's fair. But you have to make some choice.
How many people do you know that died and you laugh with them and you cry with them?
Well, I thank God I haven't been with someone right at their deathbed. If I did, I would have stolen their watch. But no, I'm kidding. You feel free to laugh.
I kid.
I do. So,
yes.
Are you? Let me a question for you, Michael. Are you now an actor, producer? What are you doing now? Are you retired? You both retired? What do you do?
Oh, well, I've done acting. I've acted. I've done some voiceover. I've done a book narration. I've done a little this, a little that. I have a band called the Windbreakers where before COVID, hearing and doing some. Thank you. I saw the reaction. We're playing some gigs at this wonderful little retirement home. They seem to ask us back. There's no accounting for taste. Anyway, they keep asking us back, but nothing could happen because of COVID. So
I've seen your band. They're a gas. No, but thank you. And still not a laugh. Not even us.
Very good.
Please. All right.
Very good.
We're doing it. Let me roll back to the early part of your career. You understudied Barbra Streisand in "I Can Get It For You Wholesale," right? Did you ever get to go on, and B, any Barbra stories?
I did. I went on for a week, and I didn't think it worked out so well. I didn't know what I was doing, and she was so good at what she was doing. Yeah, I did, and it was frightening.
Absolutely. I mean, and how much
good in that part?
Yeah,
so good, and I Can Get It For You Wholesale with data. She was just so good, and then she was going away for a while, and they wanted to find someone who could stand in for her. So I did, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I don't recommend that to go see. Yeah.
Well, you couldn't have gotten a lot of rehearsal beforehand. I mean, and I should also mention to the viewers at home that Ms. Lasser here, is getting over a cold. Not, God forbid, not COVID, just a basic a cold,
Right.
a thing. So if her eyes tearing a little, she's voices like mine. That's the reason. Yeah.
We've had shots already. We've done our shots. We're all good. Thank you.
How have you been managing, both of you, during the last 13 months I assume you're in Manhattan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How you been?
You first.
It's confusing. You don't know what's going on because also our government, has not been the best. So we don't know where we're getting what from. I just know that we got the vaccine and everyone's changed. Everyone's life has changed. Their perspective has changed. Everyone's changed. Suddenly it's like people now are getting to be more of this is what we have to do and we'll just do it. But everyone has can't help it.
Well, you locked out there for a minute. The voice sometimes cuts out from the microphone.
There's been changes, but we just can't help that.
Oh, of course, of
For
course.
example, around Thanksgiving, and not that we're telling tales out of school, we did go through COVID ourselves, but we were very, 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 very lucky. We got like minor cases of it, considering what the extremes were. Fortunately, we got over those. We tested negative, and as soon as we could, we got
Kleenex.
Kleenex.
lots of clean.
Kleenex.
Well, no, that's huge. I mean, because you are in the age group. No offense, that is scary. Yeah, and
absolutely no. We were very nervous about that, and but no, we recovered in record time. It was remarkable, and even without like the wonder drugs that were being available, we couldn't get those. We didn't have them at that time, but we recovered nicely, and then when the shots became available, we did whatever we could to try to get them as quickly as we could. So fortunately, we're here, and we got the shots, and we're fine.
have you
How are you doing?
Oh, me, please. I have gonorrhea. I'm just dealing with that. But
you can get shots for that.
You can? Oh, I did
Yes.
not know. I get them on the black market. It's not.
I don't think you'd have to stand in line.
Oh my God, you are smiling. I did get the humor out of you. Oh, my day is made. This is wonderful. So let me ask you. I'm going to go back to the.
It must be difficult. It must be difficult if you have to wait in a parking lot for it, though. That might be a little suspicious, but whatever.
That's like I can go to Aqueduct Racetrack. It was fine. The COVID people here, the gonorrhea people over there. That's right. I'm sorry. Are you dripping at them? No, I'm not. I'm good. All right, go.
The shots are on the track. That's right.
Don't even know how we get. So let me reverse gears completely. Tell me, please. You were in a play. I'm going back to Louise for a moment. A play called, probably two one-act plays, The Chinese and Dr. Fish, by Marie Schitzdahl back in the day, with Charlotte Ray, who was on this program before she passed away. It would have been horrible having her on the show after she passed away, but we had her beforehand. And William Devane was in that. I don't think it was as a comedy guy. Any memories of doing that show?
A lot of memories. Marsha Jean Kurtz, who I always said was, we were contemporaries. We are contemporaries. To me, she's the best actress of my generation that I've ever seen.
What makes her so great?
She's just true. You just believe everything she says. And she's like a quirky personality, but it all comes through. You're getting the real deal when you see her. I can't explain it, but I always envied her, not in a good way, in the way that made me happy.
So it was actual, real, honest jealousy. You would see her acting, but God damn it, I'll never be that good. Is that feeling?
No, it's the opposite.
A good jealousy. Good jealousy.
Right? Yeah.
If I could ever be that good.
Well, that's.
They worked together in Requiem for a Dream, and we were watching her yesterday in this movie with Ben Stiller and Alan Alda and Judd Hirsch, called Tower Heist. And Louise is there. My God, she's so good. She's just so good.
It's a wonderful. But do you have any other memories of that experience of being on Broadway in The Chinese and Dr. Fish?
Well, they had to learn Chinese.
Oh,
They spoke their part in the play was written in Chinese, so they had to do it. And I don't know, I don't want to describe the plot.
okay.
Oh, you can describe a little. You can tell some of
They were Chinese. They opened a Chinese laundry here. The son, Billy Devane, he just was always suspicious because he was Caucasian. He looked Caucasian. He was always suspicious. What was he really? My part was to try to find out what he was.
Right. Okay. I don't know if they could get away with that plot nowadays with political correctness and everything. It's not.
No, there's nothing correct about it.
Well, how do you feel? Let me ask you, Louise, and also Michael. You can chime in on this. What are your? Are we cancel culturing too much? Are we oversensitive? I mean, we're all white Jewish and Italian people here, so it may not be for us to say, but some of this canceling is bothering me a lot. What about you guys?
How do you define the canceling?
Well, this idea that if someone did or said something bad, suddenly you can't listen to a Bill Cosby record. Suddenly, well, he was pretty bad. Okay, fair enough. But I mean, Prairie Home Companion can't be on anymore.
You mean pretend it didn't happen?
Oh, interesting. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. Of like this person, Wagner wrote all these operas, but oh, he was a son of a bitch, anti-Semite. We can't. Blah blah blah. Don't play Wagner. Yeah, and we do that now with so
But it's
many.
almost like if you can play Beethoven's Fifth, but don't do ba 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 ba. Leave that out. Is that
Well,
what you're saying?
no, well, Beethoven was kind of a jerk, but we don't cancel him for his behavior. We cancel other people because they have done. You imagine never watching a movie that Harvey Weinstein produced again because it's Harvey Weinstein. Oh, he's doing things with little or meeting
exactly.
girls. Yeah.
The difficulty is walking that tightrope of if somebody has done fabulous, wonderful work and we appreciate the work, how can we appreciate the work and yet tolerate the behavior, the abhorrent behavior of what the artist has possibly done, allegedly done? So it's that line you have to cross and say, you know what? I think we can certainly appreciate the work, the art, but also if the person is to be punished, the person should be punished. But you could say you can't negate all the great work that has come from that. You still have to appreciate it.
We wouldn't be able to watch anything. Oh, please, Louis.
Right.
Yes.
That's right.
But you don't have to appreciate anything. You don't have to do anything. I mean,
Well, if you choose to
things
appreciate.
that keep coming up, we have no frame of reference for this.
How do you mean?
I mean, meaning the cancel culture thing is also new. How can we go back and like do all this judging, this post wrongfulness judging? How does one go back and say, okay, because he did this, we shouldn't? If we learned anything bad about Michelangelo, we can't admire the Sistine Chapel anymore.
Yeah. Or R. Kelly. I mean, if we move it up to modern time, you got R. Kelly.
Yeah.
He sold zillions of albums, but then at a certain point he should be punished, because But then again, you never play I don't play an R. Kelly album anyway. I'm listening to Shlomo Carlebach. But point is, he's in there, and I'm not even. I wasn't even going to lead to this. I wasn't even going to go here. But the elephant in the room is Woody Allen. You're and the stuff that he may have possibly done, and that people will never watch his movies again. The movies with you in them. I have a problem with that.
I have a problem with that. It just doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
It's not common sense to say, well, someone did this at a specific date and this, and now we want to pretend.
Plus, not to go too far into that, plus the legality of it was he has not been proven guilty in a court of law. He has since adopted 2 children. He is pretty much, I guess you could say, innocent in a court's eyes. why go further with it? I guess now, not to disallow what Dylan feels or whatever. That's a
What are
totally
you
different.
talking about, Woody?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
When did that come up?
just
It just sort of, wasn't even really going to go there, but when cancel culture, and then that led
Yeah.
eventually to,
I don't want to talk about that.
yeah.
okay.
Okay. It just seems like a ridiculous idea for me to come on and talk to you and that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
We can go elsewhere.
We can certainly, well, let's speak of another director that you worked with who had a very different personality from, well, yeah, you worked with Otto Preminger.
That's
Do you, have any,
right.
do you have any stories about him?
He tough. He was tough. Everyone was scared of him. Every actor was scared. Yet he was great.
Do you think that's necessary? Do you think a director has to be like iron?
So what? I mean, so what? So he was tough. That was him. He was tough. His work is great. That you see, it gets too mixed up.
Right.
Lines and learning the
Well, what?
more time. Remember that.
I was told I got the part the day before I did it, that night before. So he's known to be a stickler about learning lines. So I had all these speeches. It was one long scene, and I had to learn the lines overnight. He was known, if you don't have your lines, watch out because he goes crazy. So I didn't have my lines, and I went to him and I just said, you know, I really don't know my lines. He knew that I wouldn't know them. I didn't have them. And he said, I said, you have someone who could sit with me like
a line driller,
an intern or something like that, a line driller that can come and work with me. And like, he said, oh, of course. He couldn't have been nicer. He was.
Huh.
And so my experience of him was not of that tough thing. It was always in my mind that, I don't know, you know, when you knew you'd come in and do things not how the other people did it. I don't know. I can hear it sounds confusing.
No. Let me ask you, in terms of also, what do you prefer, or since you coach so many actors and you tutor so many actors, is it better to come in there, have read the play a couple of, or the script a couple of times, and then work on it, get it on its feet, and then have it memorized? Or are you one of those people, no, you should come in first day of rehearsal, basically off book?
I think you should come in and then let it go from there. If you want to check, I think you should be familiar with what you're being asked to do. So if that means if you work better learning lines ahead of time, you should do that. No one's going to tell you how to do that. You need help with a line. So what?
All right. Because some people, everybody has different feelings. So some people are like, oh, I've got to come in absolutely letter perfect, and then I can play. Other people are like, no, I need to move around. I need to say this over and over with a script in front of me, and eventually I'll learn it just by saying it over and over. It's two different ways of working. It's fine.
Or some people marry the lines with a particular blocking, and they can't do that until they're actually with script in hand going through the motions. Then suddenly, like going to the bureau will make them, oh, this line comes up now. Everybody works differently.
It's so many people meeting each other for the first time. And, you know, that you just have to feel it out. No one says, when people say, well, I do this, I do that. You don't do this, you don't do that. You do what's coming up at the moment. It's a new situation.
Mm.
And you have to sort of in a position not to judge it, just to float it.
Yeah, because as I've heard, the problem is if you wait until and you connect the blocking and the physical with it, and then the director changes the blocking and the playwright cuts 5 lines, you're in more trouble than the other person. So, but let me ask you. I do want to go back to the other elephant in the room. You know, doing.
I'll tell you. I'm going back a little.
Please.
For me, I like to just sit and read it out loud with the and read it till things start to happen within me. That's how I get juiced up. You know, I need to get alive first within it. Sometimes it's right there. Sometimes I never get it. But you can't, no one can judge that. You have to do that and take responsibility for it. I mean, acting is great fun when it's fun, like anything else. When it's agony, it's agony. Sometimes the agony leads to fun.
If you're lucky. Now, let me ask, because I was going to ask a Mary Hartman question, but I'll table that for the moment because I want to talk a little bit about directing. Because you wrote and directed a movie with Charles Grodin that is kind of a cult.
I didn't direct it.
I'm sorry.
I didn't direct it. I wrote and starred in it.
I'm sorry, wrote and starred in it. You didn't direct. So, I'm surprised considering that you didn't do more, or you didn't go into the directing field more. That you didn't decide to do that.
My whole life took a certain turn at that point, and I didn't like how I was functioning. I didn't like where I was going. I was having what do people call it? A nervous breakdown. No, I was really having a tough time, so I didn't do anything for a while. Everything I did just felt wrong. Until it felt right again, there was no point in doing it. I don't know. I think I don't function the same way as other actors. Probably I should, but I sort of am very solo.
Well, if Mary Hartman had come along 20 years later in your career, do you think you would have stayed 3, 4, 5 seasons? Would you have been more prepared for that crazy, like 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and you just weren't ready for it? Or is it crazy no matter when you would have? If you did it now, you couldn't deal.
But it was 12 hours a day.
Right, yeah, I'm saying.
Because it was every day, because it was a soap opera basically every day. She was doing that every day. So she was.
It was exhausting.
Going through that grind.
Right, but I'm saying.
You're a perfectionist, which there's no such thing. But if you're trying to do that, you can get a lot of trouble because you're trying to fulfill every moment and every moment isn't there. So you're wrenching yourself out of shape. I mean, I don't really want to talk about
Wait, can you the microphone? Oh. Yeah.
Sometimes it cuts out. She just to go back a little bit. Louise also did direct. She had the chance to direct Ira Lewis's play, a Chinese
coffee. What is it with you and the Chinese? All right. So
the food is fabulous.
They're after me.
We love the.
Was that with Al Pacino? Were you in? Was he in that one, or you did it different?
She did it with Austin Pendleton.
Oh, I love him. He's been on the show. Yes.
Yes, and one of her students.
And he's great.
And one of her students, Sean Walsh, and it got a nice little write up in the Times. It was really lovely, and Louise directed that.
Oh, so you have done a bit of that, and by the way, before I even forget, there's another, since two out of the three of us are mostly Jewish here, I have to ask, do you have any Marty Feldman?
I'm not mostly.
You know.
Wait. Wait, Louise, you were half Jewish, and then you became, no, aren't you? No.
She's full. She's full.
No, I've never been in a ceremony.
But
I've never done a ceremony.
I was hoping you have a bris.
I never had a bris.
I hope not.
So that explains. Never mind.
No, I don't want to know.
I'm just
now. A lot of things have become clearer now.
I'm just now beginning to understand it.
Well, wait.
The real elephant in the room, that all three of us are not wearing pants for this interview. I think great idea.
That's the MS. It really is true. You know what I know? I got my mezuzah boxers on. It's I'm telling you. But tell me a Marty.
Boxers or briefs? It depends. Anyway.
Oh, that's the old yes.
Thank you.
It was Mondale. Like, oh no, who was it? Who they do? It was Bob Dole. It was Clinton, Bush, and Bob Dole, and Dole was the depends.
Depends.
Yes. So, but tell me a Marty Feldman story, because you were in a movie called "In God We Trust." Speaking of religion, do you have any memories of Marty Feldman?
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know. I'm not prepared to talk about this. No secretive things.
Okay.
That I just, I just, he was very nice to me.
Good.
I just haven't thought about it in a long time.
I'm not looking to dig up dirt on anybody. I want cute, funny memories.
If you could find dirt, wouldn't you?
Uh, I would dig up whatever I saw. If I dug up gold, I'd mention the gold. If I dug up dirt, I'd mention the dirt. You know, gold and schmutz. That's the whole world. That's what it is. Let me ask.
Sometimes it's dirty gold. It happens.
It can happen too. It's the oyster takes the schmutz and turns it into a pearl.
That's right.
And I'm kosher, so I can't eat the oyster, but you could. The
coal can be turned into a diamond.
There you go. Speaking of diamonds, you
Yes.
can take an hour. I'm talking to people now. Hold on. Yeah, you can take an hour and shape that into a diamond yourselves by tuning in to see Louise Lasser in the play. Where is it? Did You Know My Husband? Which is going to be streamcast, or I don't know what to even call it, but
Streaming.
Streaming through Food for Thought Productions. Food for Thought Productions. If you saw a couple of weeks ago, we were talking with Bob Dishy and Judy Graubart because they were doing a piece for Food for Thought. So this is the same kind of thing. Plus, after the play, which is about an hour long, Louise will be there answering questions with the playwright, not Cheryl Crawford. What's her name? I'm sorry.
Susan Charlotte.
Susan Charlotte, forgive me. And so, yeah, I mean, you can have this experience for yourselves. Do you have another couple of minutes? So I would love to chat with you guys for a little bit longer.
Sure.
If you're good. Now, see, now I'm getting the phlegm in my throat. You're giving me your cold.
Cancel all the appointments.
I'm trying to give you my code. I don't want it anymore.
We're streaming the disease through the internet as we speak. It's amazing.
So, what do you see, like another couple of months after the pandemic, God willing, eases? Are you going to travel? Are you going to go and rent? What are you guys going to do?
I'm predicting that by September things should be at least 90% back to normal. I think we'll be 90% back in action like we have been.
Why do you think that?
Because everybody's getting the shot. We're like what 24% with the shot already. A number of folks, even our age, whatever age that is, have gotten the shot. I think we'll have a really good turn of events. Things will be sort of normal again by September. I think
normal for you guys. Do you go to the theater a lot? Do you go out to eat? Do you go to museums? Do you go to other countries and stuff? What do you guys do?
No, we never did much of that.
Oh.
We did pretty much what we're doing now.
We did. We love to go to movies. We did enjoy
thing.
movies. We love to go to movies. But then, the COVID, everything got shut down. Actually, the last film before COVID I think we saw was Sully with Tom Hanks, directed by Clint Eastwood. That was the last film I think in a theater we saw.
You shout.
Oh, am I shouting? I'm sorry.
No, please. Sometimes your microphone. I need you to shout. I'm shouting constantly. I shout my lullaby. Come on.
Stop yelling at me. Stop yelling.
I don't take it personally. I'm shouting out constantly all my life. It's fine. Louise, can I ask you, when you see a movie, and there's an actress of a certain age in it, do you sit there and go, oh, I could have gone up for that. I should be playing. Or do you just sit back and watch the movie and it's just, you're watching?
I don't think I just sit back and watch the movie. I think I'm very interested. I think if I feel a little jealousy, I don't feel jealousy over that. Over stupider things, I feel jealousy. But I don't feel it over that because that's my field. So I'm interested in other ways. Sure, I mean, I'll see someone and I don't think anymore, why didn't I get that part? Because I always think the people that get the parts, when I see them, they were much better than I would have been. I see it that way. It's not such bullshit, That's how I see it.
Having sat with her through a number of films and shows, it's great because we're sitting with her. And, I'll be trying to follow the plot and Louise will be like, fake. I don't believe that. Oh my God, he is so full. real, very real. That's good. See that? That's good. Throughout a show, and I was like, shh, I'm trying to follow the plot. What are you doing to me? She really watches and observes and comments on the work.
I get very affected by the work, even if it's just being affected by how they're doing the work or not doing the work.
Huh. That is amazing. I mean, I'd love to. Can you? How
we'll
do
come
you?
over and watch a movie with you. We'll come over. We'll watch a film together.
I've had my 2 shots and the gonorrhea shots. I'll be right there next week. We'll do it. We'll have supper. I'll bring cake.
It's like
cake, popcorn.
It's
we'll do
like,
it right.
It's like a puppy saying, "You can come over and watch with us." And he says, "I'll be there."
Gosh, I'll sit at the foot of the bed. I'll be like, okay, you change the channel. This is boring. No, but I am curious now. What is a way that you can tell that an actor is being untrue or faking? You know, because we're all fake. We're all front stage in a certain way, an Irving Goffman kind of front face. How can you tell when someone's just not real?
I just no.
Part of her gift is a teacher. Part of her gift is in acting.
I just sense something, or I sense the lack of something. It's not an intellectual thing at all. It's just something affects me. You do something even like that, and I see it, and I'm affected by that.
Even the little this.
You're engaged. You're engaged.
You make me do what I do when it's in relationship to you.
I like that. But how do you tell an actor to correct? So you can tell an actor that didn't feel you're pushing, that you were indicating, whatever. How could they then fix that?
Well, I'm supposed to help them.
Right.
That you can't always do it, but you can make adjustments within it so that they're not crucifying themselves.
That's a word you don't want to tell a rabbi. I'm not. Give me shudders.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Try your best.
You nailed her on that one.
Thank you very much. Let me see. Let me ask one more question, because you've been so lovely and so delightful, and it's a Jewish question. And I read this somewhere, and I would love to hear the interstices of this. You were told a reporter that...
What's the word? Interstices?
Yeah, it may not be the right word anyway, but you caught me on it. And I'd like to hear the guts of this.
The nuts and bolts.
The nuts and bolts. And I'll be the nut, you be the bolt. The question is, you told another writer at some point that you couldn't really pronounce Jewish words until you got through a big operation. And then... You went through, I had hernias you should know from. You went through an operation, and then suddenly you could say bagel. What?
It happened is I couldn't say. I was in therapy. This didn't come up till the last day. I was too uncomfortable to say Jewish words. It's probably some form of an anti-Semitic thing, but I didn't see it as that. The last day something came up. And so to my therapist, I spelled all of the words I couldn't say. And he said, and you picked the last day to tell me that.
You always do. You always suppress the out the door of the therapist's office. Oh, by the way, I molested my dog. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Did you?
No, I did not molest. I did. No, he molested me. I'm still getting over it.
It was a Yorkie.
Dog. Yeah.
The Saint Bernard.
I'm working out my issues too. What can I tell you? So
you always want to save the worst for last.
It's true. It's true. Louise, you wanted to say something, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was it about the dog molestation? No.
I hope not.
Cat molestation? No. Was it that chicken molestation?
Minor bird was involved. There was a lemur, perhaps, or. They do have those ringtails. Those can get in special places. I don't know what I'm doing with this. I don't even know.
Where are we going with this?
Where we're...
You're going to edit this.
Oh, no, I'm not getting a minute of this.
No.
We're not live, but we're going with this warts and all. And believe me, I've got warts, I don't know where they are in my body. But ladies and gentlemen, we have been chatting with the most fun, most delightful Louise Lasser and, I've got to read this, Michael CITRINITI.
Yes! That was perfect!
I did it.
That was perfect.
Thank you. I'm taking bows in my head. And people will be watching Louise Lasser taking a bow. And who's the other actress? Remind me?
Carol Shelley.
He's going to be Carol Shelley. Wow.
Carol Shelley.
And Carol Shelley, well, she's no longer alive. But you know, in somewhere she'll be bowing as well with Louise Lasser.
Absolutely.
When they are screening Did You Know My Husband as part of Food for Thought Productions. Go to foodforthoughtproductions.com to find out when and where, because there will be a live Q&A after the screening. There's also a taped Q&A that they did else beforehand also. Anything else we should know about this?
Well, we play parts of older people, which we are. She was.
And you are. We were.
And I was.
You're getting younger now.
Lullaby.
Younger now. No, but we did that. And I didn't really know how to do that. I'd hear about Alzheimer's, I'd hear stories, but I didn't know how to do it. And then when I did it, I just realized it's just anything you're thinking at the time, not haphazard that way. It was really hard work. And
but you pulled it off, and it was great.
We did pull it off. I think it was
great.
Well, everybody will get a chance.
As people will see.
You will see how well you guys pulled it off. And I thank you so much for pulling off this delightful interview. I certainly wish you health, and you've already had COVID and the shots, so you should be completely, watch out for leprosy. But in terms of COVID, you're fine. Halavai. I'll be over next week.
Forward to the leprosy.
I can get leprosy.
I hope not. You know.
No, but I could get it.
Anybody can get leprosy. You know that anybody can get. It's like Burns and Allen now. Anybody can get leprosy.
So we're very lucky.
Well, I'm very lucky. If you had it, you guys would be falling out. No, it's a little leprosy joke.
I get it. Falling to pieces.
Tell me about the braids.
You should know Payes. They're called Payes. I don't know if you can say that to your analyst.
Pay as you go.
Oh!
And every day.
Yes.
I wear them. They double as pubes. So basically, when I shower, I take them.
No. We think of this as an homage to Mary Hartman because she had the braid.
Oh, it didn't even occur to me. Of course, because you had the pig. These are Jew pigtails, essentially.
She had the payas too. She had payas. It was great.
I can't call them pigtails because pigs are unkosher. They're cow tails. They're lemur tails, essentially. That's what they are. See, they're very cute.
They're cute. They're adorable. Look at.
But do you make it every day, that braid?
Do you have to braid every day?
Takes me hours because I do it hair by hair, strand by. It's in the Torah. I have to do it that way. You can't buy them pre-made. I just have to strand them like this, and sometimes I have to augment it with nose hair. It's
so much work. So much work. Oh
well,
my goodness!
You just keep that in a special closet.
It's a walk-in closet. We keep it in the shul. Are you interviewing me or am I interviewing you? Where's this going now? You're having more fun asking me questions. This is
online. It's online. That's where it's going.
It's true. Nobody will ever actually.
It's our secret. Shh. It's our secret. Nobody knows.
It's true. Louise, you have something else to?
Wasn't there supposed to be a rabbi involved in this interview?
It's right there. He's there.
So you are a rabbi.
Well, I play one on TV. Let me put it that way. Yes, I'm.
As the student.
I'm sorry. I honestly didn't know.
As the student said to the rabbi, why do you always answer a question with a question? And the rabbi says, "What do you mean by that?" Anyway,
there you go. I mentioned at the beginning my temple, sons of bitches, my 21 and a half children that I have, my beautiful wife, dear Miriam Libby. What else can I tell you about?
21 and a half.
21 and a half.
Tell me about the half job.
Well, she's very, very little, and we're waiting for her head to take the correct shape. We're hoping soon.
So that she can give birth.
That's right. As soon as she's old enough, we want her to be a grandmother. we wanted to skip the whole motherhood thing. I want more grandchildren. So as soon as she's 5 or 6, I want grandkids out of her. The baby bear.
They're coming.
Yeah.
Be patient. You've got to be patient.
You're talking to a Jew. A Jew is not going to be patient.
Oh, come on. A little patience. A little.
You know the song Ani Ma'amin? And I'm waiting, I'm hoping, I believe, even though he hasn't come yet, he'll come eventually. No! Come now! Where's Mashiach? If I can get an Uber across the street, I can get Mashiach now. No. Are we good here?
We should have Mashiach elections. There should be elections.
Are you a very nice person, or am I being deceived?
Wow! What a question.
Who's interviewing here is right. That's a very good question.
Am I a nice let me put it this way. I play a not so nice person here, but I think generally I try to do right. I'm trying to be funny. I can't.
But you are nice.
I like to think so. I will ask questions sometimes that people are like, oh, how dare you? I was talking a couple of weeks ago to Bob Dishy. And I asked him a question about Marlon Brando, who had said some pretty anti-Semitic things at a certain point in his career that made me mad. And Bob Dishy was good friends with Marlon Brando. And I heard after the interview that suddenly Bob Dishy was like, he loved the interview, had a wonderful time, but how could he ask me that question about Marlon Brando? And I'm like, come on. If you were friends with Michael Jackson, I might ask, so is there a special room with...
Little boy thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, now here's the thing. Cancel culture. The cancel culture. What Marlon may have said at a point in his life, maybe he turned around completely, and it's not relevant to that anymore. It could possibly be.
It could have been a blip. He said some bad. He was a little meshuggah, but I don't think Bob Dishy wanted to even admit that Marlon Brando was at all ever. He was a good friend, and suddenly I was treading on sacred ground for him. Oops! It's a question. I'm going to ask nice questions, not so nice questions. I've interviewed many people who are alcoholics. I'm going to ask, so how long you been sober, and what was your low point, and what was your high point, and were you driving with Tiger Woods, or was he in the, I'm just saying that, a reporter, a journalist, an entertainer person, they can't just be nice all the time. Not every minute, not all. An actor can't be either.
It's important not to be.
Oh.
Because then you're not just being each time, you're being nice. You're being a thing.
As opposed to, say, being human with faults, warts, and all, because these things do come out. People are not nice all the time. They can't help it.
Right. I am one giant fault with a little bit of human in it. I am a humongous wart. And if you dig under me, there's humanity somewhere in the interstices. I used it again, this time correctly.
Tell me the word.
Interstices.
Interstices.
I said it before. Yes, it's a good word, isn't it?
That's an $8 word.
What does it mean?
Oh, it's sort of the internal inner workings, like the...
As I said before, the nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
The nuts and bolts.
But you said it interrupts.
No, in interstices.
Well, the little things behind the...
Right. I mean, you can play Chekhov up here, but what the characters are really thinking and feeling about each other, that's the interstices.
What's churning beneath.
You don't think of it as subtext. Interstices is subtext in a way.
Right. Churning beneath the surface.
But subtext is the...
Is what?
Subtext is the text.
Oh. I don't know if every director would agree with you on that. Please explain.
It takes two jobs. But the interstices are right in there with it. You switch it off. I'm sorry.
No, I got a little. Also, your microphone got a little lost, so it's sometimes a little tough to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I got some of that phlegm on me now. Look,
That's okay. We had shots.
I know. I got the shots.
Windshield wipers.
Hold on.
Do you ever worry that your braid, one of them, might not be there the next morning?
Oh, well, sometimes I wonder about my children if they come with the scissors at night, but I sleep with one eye open.
Just in case. Yeah. Just in case.
Well, that's my question.
Yes, I make absolutely sure. I have to admit, in my spare time, I make spare braids. So I have in my closet, I have a drawer. Some of them are tie-dye. They look like Grateful Dead sort of things. Some of them are gray for when I get older. It's a whole multitude. One of them actually looks like your necklace, Louise. One of them
Oh,
literally looks like it hangs from my head. It's beautiful, I have to say.
Is it colors?
Yeah, yeah, totally. It's all dyed. It's a very amazing. Where did you get that necklace? Where is that a story
I
behind
got
it?
it. I got it maybe I got it in my early 20s.
Oh,
And it was just some piece of nothing. It was ceramic and I bought it and I painted the red ones, the red hearts, and I made it this blood red because I liked it and I still wear it. It's my go-to necklace.
it's one of her favorite pieces. She
is it
loves.
like a good luck thing, or you had it so long it is
It has an innocence to it that I love. And it's like when kids play with colors, they like pastels, they like real colors, primary colors. And this reminded me of that.
I like that. That's very. I like that. Oh, I'm so glad I asked about that. That's one.
Would you like one?
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I come over to watch movies with you, and I bring
And
the.
we can paint hearts. We'll
Do
paint.
you prefer Entenmann's cake or do you prefer the Messner Passover cakes? Because I can bring those too.
This is tough. This is tough. A good babka, a good chocolate babka, or yeah, what is it? The choice Streit's dark chocolate matzah.
Yes. Oh my
Oh my
God.
god! Oh my god!
Yes.
Oh my god! Better than the Manischewitz. No offense, Manischewitz anymore.
No offense. God forbid we should offend Manischewitz, but
Exactly. We don't want to. But Streit's dark chocolate matzah. Oh my god! The chocolate is amazing. It is so good. It is so.
Oh, okay. If I can still find it after the holiday, I mean,
It's so tough. It's so.
I know. I was trying to get Schmira matzahs at the food town the day after. No, couldn't get them. It's gone for a year.
Go on.
Bastards. Bastards. Anyway, I'm sorry. Just kidding. Do you have any more questions for me, Louise Lasser? This
Think of
is,
something. Think of something. Something. How long have you been doing the show?
You're more interesting than I am.
I don't think so. I don't think that's possible.
How long have you been doing the show? This is great.
Well, thank you. I am obviously a guest on the Dave's Gone By program. Dave is the host of the show.
Oh,
He
I
has
see, I see, I see.
yeah, we look alike. It's easy to confuse us.
Like twins. Like twins. We've never seen you in the same room at the same time, right?
Unless there's a mirror. Yeah. So, but 18 years now. This is 18 years. First it was on the terrestrial radio, then it was on college radio, and now we do it as a Facebook Live, except you guys aren't live. But I mean, you're live now, but you won't be on Shabbos.
Pinch me. Yeah, exactly. No, that's great. Congratulations. 18 years. That's wonderful.
Yes. And I should tell you, since I'm always looking for a producer, and why not hit you up? So if you're ever looking to produce a play, I have done one. You can watch it on YouTube, and I'd love to bring it back to Off-Broadway. It's called Shalom Damn It, an evening with Rabbi Sol Solomon.
And you wrote it. And you wrote
I wrote it. I appeared in it. I produced it. I did the set. I did the lighting. I did the bribing of the people around the neighborhood to let people in.
Oh my God!
Everything.
A one-man show.
It's a one-man show with a musical accompaniment. Amazingly enough, I sing. Not well, but I sing. Yes, it's a frightening thing to behold. So if you want to watch, just Google Shalom Damn It, and you can watch it on my website, shalomdammit.com. You might enjoy it. You might get a kick. And maybe, who knows, in a year or two, when Off-Broadway's back. Yeah.
Anything can happen.
This is true.
Life is funny.
So that's my story. Yeah.
If he would have said to me, you and Louise Lasser will be, I would have said, no, impossible. It can happen. Anything can happen.
Anything can. So when you said you had a crush on her from the years ago, the married.
Yeah.
So were you just how did it feel really meeting her? Were you just shaking in your shoes? Or was it?
No, the amazing thing is some people, when there's this comfort level without even knowing them for some reason. But Louise would say that's because of seeing people on TV night after night after night. You get maybe a little too comfortable. But she was just so nice and so easy to be with. And again, when I saw the Snapple and the Tequila Sunrise, and it's like, oh my God, she's so wonderfully human. And she might want a third drink. You never know. And then after that, we Susan kept having these John Kerry, George Bush debate parties that summer. And we would end up sitting next to each other on the sofa and just laughing hysterically, having a great time. And one thing leads to another. And
We did laugh uncontrollably.
Yes, there was a lot of laughing. So
Mostly at the Republican, I assume. I'm assuming you guys are a little on the left. Yeah.
A little on the left, absolutely, and just having a wonderful time. And one thing leads to another, and here we are, all these years later. It flies by.
But not that you have to, but you gonna put a ring on it, or you don't have to? No need.
I've given her a ring or two, so maybe there will be a ring eventually. We'll see.
Oh, all right. I'm assuming I'm invited.
Of course.
I'll bring cake because that's all I am.
Cake.
Invited to the divorce.
Chas v'sholom. No. What do you bring to a divorce? A little black book of phone numbers.
What do you bring? What can you bring to a divorce? Oh my God! Well, assume one of the well, the parties are going to be happy either way. Well, definitely one party's going to be happy. So you might bring something celebratory to one, And
maybe it's this King Solomon thing. You bring a knife to cut the kids in half so they can divide them properly. That's what you do. Or
at least the marriage license in half. Something, I don't know.
Something like the ketubah. You can a lighter. You can go. You're right. Anywho,
very good.
Are we good? Or do you have? Do you want to know more of my hernias?
My eye look very swollen.
Oh, but that's because you have you stuffed nose and stuffed face, and right? Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong.
This is like that magic 8-ball where you ask the questions and you turn the ball over. It's like, does my eye look swollen? And you turn it over and say, ask again later. And it was funny. She's asking these questions as if you're the magic 8-ball now. It's like, does my eye look swollen?
Shake me up a little bit. All right, let's see. Unclear.
Because you're my alpha human right now.
I think your alpha human is right there, and he's a wonderful person. You're very lucky lady. I think
Thank
you. You're lucky too, sir. I should say this too, because
I'm very lucky. No. I'm a very lucky guy. And you're lucky because look at this wonderful thing you've created for us. We're having a lot of fun.
I'm very glad you enjoyed. And again, last time I will say, please, everybody, tune in to see Did You Know My Husband? You can watch it on foodforthoughtproductions.com. It'll be streaming live. You can see the Q&A after it. And then, Louise, do you have, I should ask, anything you're doing after that virtually? Any other shows, any other projects?
I don't know. I sort of do little things as they come up.
A friend wrote this wonderful little playlet for a radio podcast it's basically all the roles are basically all women, even women playing men, of which Louise played one of the men, so she just recorded that.
And what is it, and where can we see it or hear it?
Not sure yet. I can't even remember the name. Do you remember the name of it? Oh my God. The writer, Jocelyn Koritsky. Jocelyn Koritsky.
Sounds like a nice Jewish girl. I'm not sure.
There you go.
Just saying. That's important to me. It's not important to all, but it's important to me.
It's all about the intonation. It's a nice Jewish girl.
Thank you.
Do it again.
Well.
Yes.
No, you also your mic cut out. So the last things that you were saying, I did not hear. I'm sorry.
I love the way you did that. That was so great. It's the intonation. It's a nice Jewish girl.
Thank you very much.
I'm stealing that.
You're welcome to. You're welcome. And Louise, you're good. You're shushing me now. But
I'm okay.
Say, I make a living.
Yeah. Are you comfortable, Louise?
I make a living.
There we go. Thank you very, very much. On that very, very, very Hebraic note, I will bid a loving adieu to our new friends of the Daverhood. Oh, I'll get it wrong now. Michael CITRINITI and Louise Lasser, two lovely, delightful, and thank God, healthy and COVID-free people. So more health, more good, better times in the past year, of course. And please keep us posted as to what you're doing. And just let me know what flavor of cake to bring next week. We're good.
You got it. Rabbi Sol, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A lot of fun.
Shalom to both of you.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.